Hi, friends. I'm back with another show for Hour of Power. And I have my friend here. Do you remember this friend? Her name is Kisses Mastillo. And I have a really fun video in Word Games that is called Fun with Names. I want you to check it out. It's in there with Kisses, and she's on that video too. I want to welcome you back to the Hour of Power, and I have a really fun book that I'm going to read to you today called How Rocket Learned to Read. And the reason that I'm going to read you this book is when I woke up this morning, something amazing had happened during the night. I don't know if there's snow at your house, but there was snow at my house. And it's kind of the beginning of snow season here in Wenatchee. And so Rocket is this dog in this story, and he does something really fun in the snow that I want to show you in this book that might be fun for you to do in the snow too. So this book is called How Rocket Learned to Read, and I want you to show you here in the front of the book jacket, it says, "Meet Rocket, a new student, and his teacher, a little yellow bird. Watch as Rocket practices singing out the sounds of each letter to the alphabet, discovers the delicious excitement of listening to stories, and finally, best of all, he learns to read, just like all of you are becoming readers as well." Okay, as you're listening, I want you to think about that 5-finger summary. Rocket loved to play. He loved to chase leaves and chew sticks. He loved to listen to the birds sing. Isn't he cute? I love doggies. Every fall morning after chasing leaves, Rocket would lie down in his favorite spot under his favorite tree. There he'd sniff the neighborhood smells and settle in for a good nap. But one day, a little yellow bird startled Rocket. "Aha! My first student! Wonderful!" she sang. Rocket was confused. "Student? I'm not a—" "But if I'm your teacher," the bird interrupted, "then you must be my student." Rocket found it hard to argue with this bird. "I am so glad you saw my sign," the bird chirped. "Oh, yes, I can see it," Rocket said, "but I don't know how to read it." "Can't read? Fantastic!" She waved a wing. "Welcome to my classroom." "But I just came here for a nap," Rocket said. "No, no, there will be no napping in class," declared the bird, "except, of course, during nap time." "Well, then, I can take a nap over here," said Rocket. "I've had a very busy morning." "Not to worry, I'll be around every day," chirped the bird, "until the weather turns." Okay, her little sign says class starts today. As Rocket breathed in the crisp air, the little yellow bird hung her banner. "Ah, the wondrous, mighty, gorgeous alphabet," she marveled, "where it all begins." This reminds me of Lettertown. Opening up a book, the bird began to read. She sang out the story of an unlucky dog named Buster who'd lost his favorite bone. A cool breeze carried her lively voice across the yard. At first, Rocket was disturbed. He kind of looks annoyed, doesn't he? But before long, he found himself captivated. To Rocket, the story was as delicious as the earthy smells of fall. It was as exciting as chasing leaves. He closed his eyes and listened to every word. As Buster dug and dug under the lilac bush, the bird read, he felt something familiar. Rocket waited. Was it the bone? He wondered. Silence. Was it the bone? He called to the bird. More silence. Was it the bone? Rocket hollered. Suddenly he was rushing to the tree. Well, was it? But the little yellow bird was gone. The next morning, Rocket arrived early. At last, the little yellow bird appeared. "Hello, how wonderful to see you in class," she chirped. "I can tell by your waggy tail that you are well rested." "I'd like to hear the end of the story, please," said Rocket. "That seems like a fine way to start the day," chirped the bird. She gave Rocket a name tag and began to read. And look at what's the word of the day. Can you see it on her little chalkboard? And look at, she gave him a name tag. Every day, Rocket returned to the little yellow bird's classroom. In the morning, the bird taught him a new letter until he had learned all the wondrous and mighty, gorgeous alphabet. Together, they sang out the sounds that each letter makes and spelled the sounds they heard around them. With a G and many R's, they spelled Mr. Barker's growl. Grrr. Look at, there's the sound. Grrr, grrr. They spelled the sound of the wind, which was growing colder by the day. Whoosh. Soon they were spelling words like oh. What word is that? Fall. That's spelled F-A-L-L for the gusty time of year. And R-E-D, what color is that? For the color of the leaves. And each afternoon, the bird read a story. She read stories about dogs and birds. She read about leaves changing colors and about birds flying south for the winter. Oh, what time of year? Excuse my sneeze. What time of year is it becoming? It's the end of fall. Then one day, the weather turned and the letter banner disappeared. See you in the glorious spring, the bird sang. And as she flew into the wintry sky, she called, don't forget, words are built one letter at a time. The days grew shorter and the leaves fell from the trees. The grass became crunchy. Soon Rocket's classroom disappeared under the snow, just like today. He remembered the little yellow bird's alphabet and practiced his letters. Look at how he's practicing his letters in the snow. That was my idea. Wouldn't it be fun for you to practice writing your letters in the snow and making the sounds as you write them? You could do the uppercase letters like Rocket's doing here, or you could do the lowercase letters. Rocket thought about the bird's sweet chirp while he sounded out the words like D, E, G, and W, I, N, D, and K, O, L, D. He made new friends and spelled their names. Hello, Hi there, D. He spelled everything. S-U-N-M-E-L-T. Look at all of those words that he's sounding out and spelling with letters. Remember, words are built one letter at a time. Can you read all of those words? You could even pause the video and look. When Rocket spelled out M-U-D, he knew that spring, as it always does, had returned. Class starts tomorrow. The breeze blew warmer, the grass grew greener, and a sign appeared. Oh yeah, the sign says class starts tomorrow. And what does M-U-D spell? If you said mud, give yourself a pat on the back. Early the next morning, Rocket rushed to his classroom. As he waited, he spelled out W-A-G. What does that spell? Soon the little yellow bird arrived. Aha, my star student, she sang. How wonderful to see you. I can tell by your waggy tail that you are ready for class. And the sign says, welcome back, Rocket. Then, together, they began to read. They read stories about birds flying north in the spring. They read about picnics in the warm sun. And they read about Buster, the lucky dog who found his bone under the lilac bush. And when they were done, they read it again and again and A-G-A-I-N, which spells again. And that's the wonderful thing about books, is you can read them again and again and again. And it's very good for your fluency to practice. I want to show you, too, on the back jacket of this book is the author who wrote this book. His name is Tad Hills. And Look at, there's the real rocket in real life. Isn't that fun? Okay, please go to Lettertown and Word Games and Tongue Twisters for new videos, and also check out more read alouds. Somewhere in those videos are 2 secret codes. See you next time, friends. Happy Hour of Power and happy winter vacation. Take some time and go back and rewatch things and enjoy Hour of Power, and I will see you again in January. Bye, friends.